The left wants the freedom to hurt you if you won't comply with their wishes. That's why they want you disarmed. It's not more complicated than that. And I'm going to tell you something else that's going to have people blow in a gasket today, and I don't care. The Second Amendment is not about hunting. You see these idiots up there all the time. Well, I'm not anti-Second Amendment. I used to go hunting with my pappy. I own a double barrel. Had nothing to do with hunting. And I'll tell you something else. It's not about protecting your home from an intruder either. Now, that's a nice benefit of it. That's a great benefit of it, but it's not about that. We have the Second Amendment. The founders wrote about this all the time. It's not as if we don't know why we have it. We have the Second Amendment so the American people would be free to defend themselves against a government, their own government, if their own government would become tyrannical. You know that? I know they're not allowed to teach that in school. I know people even on the right are too scared to say that. We have it in writing. That's why we have the Second Amendment. If the United States government becomes despotic, they wanted you to have the Second Amendment so you could defend yourselves against them. Period. End of story. That's why we have it. So it is ironic to see the American president get up and talk like this today.
Nothing I'm about to recommend in any way impinges on the Second Amendment. They're phony arguments suggesting that these are Second Amendment rights at stake from what we're talking about. But no amendment to the Constitution is absolute. You can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater and call it freedom of speech. From the very beginning, you couldn't own any weapon you wanted to own. From the very beginning the Second Amendment existed, certain people weren't allowed to have weapons. So the idea is just bizarre to suggest that some of the things we're recommending are contrary to the Constitution.
Yeah, he's not here to violate your Second Amendment. Well, that's weird because I heard him say this.
I want to see a national red flag law and legislation to incentivize states to enact their own red flag laws. These laws allow a police or family member to petition a court in their jurisdiction and say, I want you to temporarily remove from the following people any firearm they may possess because they're a danger and a crisis. They're presenting a danger to themselves and to others.
I want you to pause for a moment because I see people on the right as well kind of okay with these red flag laws, right? I mean, on their surface, they sound fine. Well, I don't understand. The police can just decide that you've lost your mind and they should be able to come take your guns away. Or a family member, right? Of course. Well, if a family member is that worried about you, why shouldn't they be able to come take your guns away? Let's focus on the cop side of it for just a moment. You do realize we're just like a few years removed from the federal law enforcement arm, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, intentionally lying to the FISA court in order to get a warrant to spy on an American citizen, and then lying several times after that in order to keep the warrant? Can we lay down this notion that just because the cops are doing it, it's okay? And I don't have to sit here and explain myself of I support the cops as much as anybody. You know who I am. You know what I am. But let's stop with this absurdity. You've seen these political cops all across the country, political sheriffs all across the country. These people in various districts. The police commissioner in D.C., a highly political left-wing guy. You want him to decide whether you're sane enough to hold a firearm? It's blatantly anti-constitutional. It's blatantly against the Second Amendment. Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.